Indiana, the latest flashpoint in a national debate about freedom and discrimination.
Indiana Governor Mike Pence signed into law the controversial Religious Freedom Restoration Act, which many believe will allow discrimination based on sexual orientation.
About 20 states have since enacted their own similar laws, but the Indiana measure goes further, potentially giving individuals, businesses, and even large corporations the right to deny services to anyone if serving them would betray religious beliefs.
These laws exist for one purpose, which is to allow religious people not to serve commercial relationships with same-sex weddings.
Those who are defending this sort of law go very far out of their way to say how it's not discriminatory towards anybody.
And so you'd have to be either really bigoted or really sincerely religious to say no.
If a gay couple was to come in, we would have to say no.
A florist that has a strongly held religious belief to be able to hold that belief close and not participate in the message of a homosexual wedding or ceremony.
Adding sexual orientation as a protected class, will you push for that?
I will not push for that.
The reason that those corporations put the pressure on Indiana and Arkansas was because the militant gay community put the pressure on them.
The group delivered a letter to the governor's office asking him to speak at a conference Tuesday in New York to 300 business leaders, explaining why this bill doesn't close Arkansas to new business.
That pressure from the business community, along with an intense political backlash, caught Indiana's governor by surprise.
Yes or no? If a florist in Indiana refuses to serve a gay couple, is that legal now in Indiana?
George, this is where this debate has gone.
I think there'll be consequences at the ballot box. Look at Governor Pence. He's scared. And he's scared because the constituents of that state will not stand for this kind of hateful discrimination in America today.
This is not the Indiana I remember as a kid.
Comedians Nick Offerman and his wife Megan Mullally are donating money from Wednesday's show in Indiana to the Human Rights Campaign.
And powerful players in the tech industry have spoken out using Facebook and Twitter,
including American Airlines, Apple, Wells Fargo, Microsoft, and Levi Strauss, issuing a statement in support of the gay advocacy group, the Human Rights Campaign, saying these laws set a dangerous precedent and undermine equality in the workplace.
The Human Rights Campaign, which published the letter signed by many tech CEOs, including some of those you just heard from.
The sheer diversity of businesses that spoke out. When is the last time you saw Yelp and Walmart and Salesforce on the same list? You know, this is something that the business community has conveyed to the public. This is not so much a social issue. This is also a business issue.
So we've been organizing and building these coalitions with allies and with business and with LGBT folks all across this country for a long time.
Native Arkansan and president of the Human Rights Campaign, Chad Griffin, returned to his home state in hopes of convincing the governor to veto House Bill 1228.
People don't understand the inherent danger and animus driving these types of laws.
And that's a dangerous, dangerous precedent to write into law.
That's why the companies are opposing it. That's why the American people are opposing it.
Is it allowable, permissible to discriminate against customers or against fellow employees? That's not an abstract moral issue. That is squarely a personnel and a business issue.
At the end of the day, there is no religious freedom crisis in America. The only crisis is the rising wave of anti-LGBT legislation, which at its core is being driven by activists like you.
There are over 100 bills that have been introduced in the state legislatures this year attempting to target the LGBT community.
What's happening in Indiana, what's happening in Arkansas, I think is going to be helpful in all those states. So I'm optimistic that we have a shot to, quite frankly, to defeat them all.